running an agency doesn't have to feel like juggling flaming chainsaws. At Schmidt Consulting Group, we help you ditch the chaos, land more clients, and even enjoy running your business again. No fluff, no BS, just strategies that actually work. Check us out at schmidtconsulting.group because your agency deserves better.
Discover how Wendy Benning Swanson transformed her life by overcoming grief, cultivating self-mastery, and embracing ancient teachings. Uncover the secrets to real empowerment and unlocking your true potential on this inspiring episode of Schmidt List.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Schmidt List. I'm your host, Kurt Schmidt. I am excited you are joining me today because I've got a special guest today with an amazing book, and I want to share with all of you because I think you're all going to get a lot of value out of this. I want to introduce you to my new friend, Wendy. Wendy, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and especially now that you're here. So tell me a little bit about your background, Wendy. How do we find ourselves here? How did we end up writing this book? And tell me a bit about your journey.
Oh, goodness. Where to start? When you say your journey over and over, everyone's heard this before, but it really started when my husband passed away, which has been about 17 years ago now. And after he passed away, my son was 1 year old, and I decided to start my staffing firm. So I owned a staffing firm. We placed people with scientific and engineering backgrounds here in the Twin Cities mostly. And that was great. And the business did well. The grief of losing my husband really forced me to start to take a look at life in a different way. And I really started to try to understand, what it was all about. Because I think when death happens, when grief happens, it's like one of those formative times. Also divorce. I've seen a lot of people with divorce.
Sure.
Divorce and death are like the times when you really look in the mirror and they say, who am I? What is this life all about? And so as I was in my staffing firm, doing all the things, working hard, thinking that this was it, I was going to be a successful woman, entrepreneur, was going to build this company and retire. And this was like the pinnacle of life, and it became somewhat successful. And I didn't find what I was looking for at the top of that mountain. I started looking in different areas. I'm like the self-help guru, right? Like the Tony Robbins,
Read all the books, right?
Read all the books.
Yeah.
Self-development, self-mastery is something that's just always, I'm always trying to improve myself and get better. And so I was watching this show, and this woman was talking about a class called Kabbalah. I don't know if you've heard of Kabbalah before.
I have.
And she said it can help you fulfill your divine potential.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm signing up for that.
Exactly. Like the first time in all the self-help guru work that I had heard someone talk about divine potential. And so I started down the path of the mystery school tradition. So it's mystery school. When I say that, what does that mean to you?
I think of teenagers in a van with a dog. That's what I think of.
Like a hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like woo, something that's
something I can charge my water by the moonlight at night.
Yeah. The mystery schools have been around for thousands of years.
Wow.
And they started in like the Aristotle, Socrates, Leonardo da Vinci, Tesla. They were all initiates of mystery schools. As empires grow and fall, they have had to go underground because the teachings that they offered weren't really what they wanted people to understand about themselves.
That's pretty wild. And did that take you on some travels? Were you able to do a lot of that from while you were still working?
Yeah, I started with the first step, which is a life activation. And the modern mystery school, the one I work with, is in 55 countries throughout the world. Their headquarters is in Japan and in Toronto, Canada. And there are mystery schools in other places in the world as well, but they're still underground. This is
Sure.
really the only one that is available for anyone that's interested.
Oh, wow.
And in the past, you had to either be royalty or you had to know someone or get that tap on the shoulder to be able to learn the teachings and become initiated.
Wow.
Yeah, but now is the time when they can finally open the doors, everyone and anyone that's interested. And it's a different way of looking at yourself as being a human in terms of right now in business, empowerment is really what it's all about.
Sure.
The class is called Empower Thyself. And it's been interesting because I've been to a lot of networking events and I'm meeting people all over the place. And in business, we talk a lot about empowerment. The empowerment that the mystery schools talk about is different than empowerment in business. Like you think of empowering your people in business. You're empowering them to do their work, to do it without your guidance, to take charge and make things happen. But empowerment in the mystery school sense is empowerment coming from within, not necessarily external power. So that's where, going back to my self-development need, that self-mastery desire, that's really what the mystery is. There is no mystery.
Right.
The mystery of the mystery school is you and
You.
powerful we are.
Yeah, you are Pandora's box. There is no Pandora's box, right?
Exactly. And that's what they teach, is how to understand your power, how to step in that power and live life from that power of understanding who you are at a deeper level. And that's really the difference in terms of the word empowerment from my world before the mystery school and then after all the work in the mystery school. And it's all based in hermetics. Are you familiar with hermetics at all?
Yep. Yeah, just
Hermes?
in passing. I've heard the
Right.
term. I've heard the
Yeah.
term. I have not partaken.
Yeah, so like Hermes Trismegistus, it's the most ancient philosophy. And you've heard of like hermetic seal. It's like
Yep.
pure. So the basis of the mystery school teachings are all hermetically based. So they're based in this purity, understanding yourself in the laws of the universe. And there's no end. Like there's always work to do on understanding who we are. With at the end of the day, know thyself, knowing who I am is the ultimate goal. And so I owned this staffing firm. I took this Kabbalah class and many other classes. And as I started to go up the tree of life, I realized that I started my staffing firm not really it really wasn't a passion for me. When
Sure.
you talk about empowerment and finding your purpose and fulfilling what you came here to do, I did it for reasons that were external. I did it to prove to someone that I could, first of all.
Yeah.
I did it to get external validation, for people to see me as like a successful business.
Yeah, because if everybody sees you as a successful person, then you will just become one, right?
I'll be one. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Right. And everyone knows that, right?
Everybody
that
knows
listens
that,
to this knows that is
That's
how it
right.
works.
Just ask any famous person. Now that everybody thinks and knows you're famous, it fixes everything. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this path of, okay, so you realize now that you're at the top of the hill, you're at the top of the mountain, you've done everything, you've made all this money, and you're saying, now what? And that's the journey. The journey is, who am I? What am I? Where
Yeah.
did I come from? Where am I going? And it's deeper. It's deeper than just surface, external. It's taking a look inside and understanding yourself in a deeper way to then be able to be out in the world as that true, authentic being. And there's a spiritual component to it. That woo piece is real. It's not about moon water and hippies, but that's why I asked, because yeah, that's what people think.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah. Again, like, but back to your point, it's the hardest thing is taking that hard look in the mirror and spending time on yourself. It's way easier to spend your days just judging other people and doing things that affect the outside world around you. It's much harder to do things that work on you and improve you, because then you've got to face the things that you don't like about yourself, and you got to list those things, you've got to attack those things, you've got to go down the list and figure out what sort of treatments or things do you need to do those things, right? Whether it be your physical appearance, your spiritual, or your mental health. It's really challenging, and a lot of people just choose to, I'll just ignore and I'll get busy with other things like running my business, right? That will numb a lot of these other things that are going on with me, right? And you do that long enough, and then you realize that's not working. It's festering. It's getting worse. And just like any kind of drug or whatever, like at some point, it's just not as effective in the dosage that you were doing it before. Now what?
the ultimate goal is joy.
Yeah.
That's what we're all searching for.
Yeah.
But what does joy really mean? It's not happiness. Happiness is on the same line as sadness. So it's like a polarity. You're either happy or sad. Joy is this deep understanding of who you are and understanding where you are in life. And so like for me, for example, now when things used to happen to me, I would go down. Like something would happen and boom, I was at the bottom and I had to climb my way back up. Now something happens to me and I just look at it and I'm like, oh, that happened. Okay. What do I need to do? What do I need to take action on? I don't go down anymore to that level. And that's really what it's all about. And it's because I understand and know who I am. I know the big picture. And so, yeah, what I see, knowing what I know now, is that most people are literally living like zombies. You mentioned it. It's get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed. Get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed. Weekend, your kids, if you have kids, you got sports events, you got events you got to go to, you got to mow the lawn, and then you go home, you eat dinner, and you go to bed. And you could do that for, most people have done that for
Forever.
their whole life.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what you saw your parents doing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and yes, there's a point you have to stop and you have to take a minute. But it's not necessarily about talk therapy or therapy. Not that therapy is bad, but it's taking a deeper look at you in the big sense, understanding where your thoughts come from, how you're thinking, your negative ego. I guess not everyone understands what the negative ego is. I was told by someone today had never even heard that. It's those negative thoughts that we say to ourselves. It's oh, I can't do that, or I shouldn't do that, or it's the devil that's on your shoulder.
Who do you think you are?
All the time. This whole path is about healing, because we don't need our negative ego. I know there's some things out there that say it's just part of you and you just have to live with it, but we don't actually. We can completely get rid of it.
Yep.
Through this work, and that's amazing. I mean, there's always levels, right?
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
different levels.
Yeah, for sure.
You're done.
Yeah. So this journey inspired you to start writing then?
Yeah, as I started talking to more and more people about this work, I realized that we could have a 45-minute conversation about it, and people really still don't know what I'm talking.
Yeah, sure.
It's hard to explain it all in even like a 15-minute
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
conversation,
Like you
right?
said, it's something to be experienced more so than just chatted about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share my experience with the healings. And I started the book talking about the death of my husband and my business, like we talked about here. But I also talked about each of the healings and what happened, magic that happened, because I am a science person. I have a biology degree. My staffing firm was placing scientists and engineers. So I do have this, I need it to be proven. I'll do it. I'll do anything once. I'll try it out. You say this is going to work, I'll try it. And so I talk in there about how that's the way I am. I said, okay, try this. And it's like the fruits that came from this healing. Oh, something happened. Okay, now I'll do the next thing. We'll see. We'll keep going and
Yeah.
see. And the ham's gonna fall when I'm gonna realize this is all a big joke. And it really didn't. There kept being shifts and changes in my life that didn't always come from the mental. I'm in science in school, and we're just used to it all having to make sense.
Yep.
And I talk in there about things happen. I didn't understand how or until later, because I wasn't ready to understand it.
Yeah, sure.
How does doing this healing change this in your life? I understand now, but I talk in my book about my questioning of it and my journey to seeing that outcome and seeing the results in my life that have brought me closer to joy, closer to understanding who I am in a deeper way.
Yeah. Yeah. I can also imagine, much like myself, writing books, you never learn as much as when you start teaching. And that process of putting it all together for me in the different subjects that I've written about allowed me to become even better at those things. It just was a natural thing, which was really interesting to me, that as I was out trying to teach these things that I had learned, I got way better at them through that process. Did you find that as well?
It's interesting because a lot of people have told me that have been part of the school, that have read my book, that it made them reflect on their journey. Because, sometimes you just go through it. You don't really look back and understand what happened in the timeline. And so, yeah, it made me really look back and reflect on how each step shifted me, which is good. So then I can share that with others like this, be more clear and succinct on how each of the steps can support your empowerment and growth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
great.
huge.
Yeah, it's good. And how was it when you got it out there? Because I know the feelings that I had was like, oh no, people are actually going to read this thing. You spend all this time and then you start to be like, oh no, wait a second, people are going to read it without me around. Is that okay? That was a really odd feeling for me. I did not expect that feeling.
Yeah, now your story's out there, right? And then people come up to you and tell you pieces of your story that
Yeah.
you'd forgotten, that you'd written. So they know things about you
Yeah.
and you don't know them at all.
Yeah. And I'm like, where'd you hear that?
Um,
Oh, damn
yeah.
it. I put it in the book.
Yeah, I've had a number of people tell me that have already done a number of healings and classes, that they really appreciated reading it from that perspective. Because as you're going through it, it's just sometimes you don't quite understand the shifts that are happening.
Yeah.
So that's been great. Yeah, I've gotten really good feedback on it. And I do have an Audible version, and people have appreciated that as well.
Yeah. And so what's been on the backside of this? What's been what joy have you found from now that this book is out there? How has that added to the journey that you're on?
Yeah, it's only been a couple months.
Mhm.
So we're still on the top end of did get 1,000 downloads the first 3 days,
Awesome.
which is great. And I'm finding people trickle in, which is interesting. In fact, one of my son's friends' moms just contacted me. And I don't know if she probably would have found this work or found me. I think, we talk a lot about light, like initiation, you get 10 times more light. What does that mean, right? Light. You get more energy, more power, more divine connection to go out in the world and be that in your life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm hoping that people that may not have found me in other ways can find me through this work. Then if they're interested and want to have more light in their lives through a tradition and lineage that's been around for thousands of years. It's not just something I've made up in my head from a channeling or something that happened to me.
Yeah.
This is real. It's a foundation and a structure to it.
Yep.
And I had someone else the other day said, I've never heard of this before. And I'm like, now you have.
Here we are.
I know it's been around for thousands of years, but it's only really been available for everyone for about 25, 30 years.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And what would be your advice for people interested on this journey? Where is a good place to start?
Yeah, as when I watched the show, when the woman was talking about the school and Kabbalah, she said the first step is a life activation. Yeah, that's the first step for everything. It reconnects you to your divine blueprint and it activates your DNA, which people's DNA isn't activated. We have both physical and spiritual DNA. And I talk about in the book the results from that for people. Just that alone, just doing that. People open up their awareness to their potential.
Yep.
And people have started businesses. I had one person who her cousin had been killed by a carjacker and she felt like hopeless, like she couldn't do anything about it. And after the life activation, she created a change.org campaign that went all the way to the Minnesota State Supreme Court.
Wow.
And changed the outcome of the verdict. And she said before she did it, she just didn't think she could. She didn't know, she wouldn't have acted on that. It does different things for people, but it opens up your awareness of your potential.
Yeah.
I'll just say. So that's the first step. And I'm a practitioner of that. We have a number of people here in the Twin Cities that do that. And my website is wendybenningswanson.com, and there's information on there about how to set that up.
Awesome.
But also, my book is called Innerpowerment, and you can find it on Amazon. And by Wendy Benning Swanson.
Yeah. And you've got the Audible version too for people on the go, right?
That's my preferred way. I listen while I'm driving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a lot of people are going to listen to this. They listen to podcasts while they're driving. Wendy, I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. Like you mentioned, I can go to the website. I can find the book on Amazon, right? And I'll have links in the description below for everyone. And I just want to thank you for sharing your journey with us today. It's really impactful, and I'm excited to share it with my audience.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to be on here. This has been fun. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, we'd love it if you left a review on iTunes or Spotify. It makes a big difference. And be sure to check out schmidtconsulting.group for more ideas and insights. Remember, every big dream starts with a single step. Keep moving forward, stay curious, and don't forget, we're rooting for you. See you next time.